Right now, I want to call the national coordinator for the Answer Coalition, Brian Becker, to come forward and say a few words. Brian, if you would.
Sisters and brothers, we want to thank everyone for coming here today outside the embassy of the Israeli government here in Washington, D.C.
I think this is just a little too loud.
We're facing a humanitarian crisis of the first dimension. One Israeli soldier taken prisoner, and the whole world learns the name of that soldier. And yet there are 9,500 Palestinian prisoners taken from their families and from their communities and put into prisons and routinely tortured. And the Bush administration and that embassy hopes that they will remain forever nameless people. And in fact, they are not nameless people. They are human beings, just like every person in Washington, D.C. And we're here to say to the Israeli criminal government, not only should you get out of Gaza and out of West Bank and end the apartheid regime within the 1948 borders, but every single prisoner held in your prisons must be released, not tomorrow, but today. That's why we're here. Let's make no mistake about it. The criminal reaggression in Gaza is paid for by the American people, but they never ask the American people, do you want to spend $15 million every day of every week, all year round? That's $3 billion. Not because the U.S. government loves Jewish people. That's not true. Some of the worst anti-Semites are in the government in Washington. The reason they fund Israel is that Israel carries out the fundamental colonial functions against not only the Palestinians, but against all Arab people and all the peoples of the Middle East. We're here because we say the occupation in Iraq, which has killed 200,000 people, is a crime. But so is the occupation of Palestine. It's both a crime. We chant, occupation is a crime from Iraq to Palestine. Occupation is a crime from Iraq to Palestine. Occupation is a crime from Iraq to Palestine. You know, it's not just in Washington, D.C., but we have decided to make this campaign resonate in New York City today and tomorrow and in the coming days, and in Los Angeles, in San Francisco, and in Chicago. The last thing that Bush and the Omar government expected was that people around the world would rally to the cause of Palestine. Let's face it, brothers and sisters, can the Palestinian people win this struggle by themselves? It is obvious that they have the desire and the commitment and the will to resist. But we need the people throughout the Middle East and throughout Europe, and most importantly, throughout the United States, to stand with the Palestinian people. We reject the idea that Arab people can be characterized as terrorists so that every abuse, every criminal act can be justified against an entire people. We're here today because the Palestinian people, like the South African people 25 years ago in their struggle against apartheid must receive the capacity of all the people in the world to extend a hand of solidarity. Palestine will be free. It will be free because the world will not stand for the new form of apartheid to rule forever. And the people of the United States will turn, just as they turned 20 years ago against apartheid. U.S., Israel, stop the war against the Palestinian people. Stand for equality and equal rights for all people. Stop the aid, $15 million a day to the merchants of death ruling from the government in Tel Aviv, and spend that money instead to meet human needs here and everywhere. Thank you for coming. Let's keep the chant strong. We say right now, they're bombing Gaza by the hour. What do? Fight for power!